What's up? Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. What's up? What's up? We getting it in on this good lunch and learn. I decided to do a good lunch and learn today. Give folks something in the middle. Excuse me, give folks something in the middle of the day to look at. So let's have a good conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of topics out here that are very, very, very interesting that pertain to us as Black people. And as Black people, I think we got to learn how to have tough conversations, have real conversations. But also, I do think we need to look at the framing of a lot of our conversations or a lot of the context within the conversations that we're having. And this conversation here today, you're going to see what I'm talking about, what I'm pointing out, because we're tackling the issue of, can you be pro-Black and marry outside of your race? So if you are considering yourself pro-Black or you are considered to be pro-Black, can you marry somebody who is not Black and still be considered pro-Black? But I have an additional question, a couple additional questions. Does a person have to be labeled as pro-Black? Do you need to be labeled as pro-Black to be respected? If you are not labeled as pro-Black, does that diminish your impact? Because definitions do matter, categories do matter. And if you don't fit a certain category, it's okay. But just because you don't fit that category, that doesn't necessarily mean that your impact or your contribution as a Black person is null and void. So, these are thoughts, conversations, stuff that we're getting into today on this good lunch and learn. What's going on, my brother Brian Jefferson up in the building? What's going on? Says, well, Black is proximity to Africanness as determined by Eurocentric worldview, such as race is. So, what you mean? Help me. What you mean? Like, as far as like you saying, as far as help me out. What you mean? I ain't even gonna try to act like I understand. Help me out. Break that down for me. But this is what we're getting into. So I'm not saying I have the answer. If you are not European parent, example, white, color, caste in America, then you're Black. Yeah, according to their definition, yeah, according to their definition. If you are non-white, proximity to whiteness, then you're treated with the out group. Yeah. But we're looking at it, from our lens. I would rather us look at it from our lens, though, from our lens of how we are attacking the pro-Blackness thing. Because I will give my thoughts and my ideas on it, but I'm asking a series of questions. Alfonso, what's going on? You say you can express Black self-respect as a Black person, and that is not engaging in non-constructive behavior. That is one way to counter racism. Is non-white people who are subjected to Black classification, we should be focusing on getting rid of the system and replacing it with the justice and minimizing its effects. Well, we should be, but we have to, we got to deal with a whole lot of stuff before we get to it. I agree. I do agree that overall, but it's a whole bunch of reasons why we're not focusing on that. It is a whole bunch of reasons why we ain't focusing on that. So it's like we got to be able to analyze everything that's in front of us. Pretty much that's what one of the things we're doing here today. Because like I say, I have a couple ideas. I have a couple thoughts that I am going to express and I am going to share. But I do have questions and things, because I don't think that if you don't label yourself as pro-Black or if you're not considered pro-black by others. I don't think that that diminishes what you have done if you have contributed, especially mightily, to the empowerment and the upliftment of black people as a black person. That doesn't diminish any of that. You might not fit that classification, but that doesn't diminish anything. Hirotsu says, marrying a white person is a danger to the spouse and the children. Well, we're gonna examine it. We're gonna examine it. We're gonna examine it. We're gonna examine it. What's going on, Amina? How you doing, my sister? What's going on? He says, Brian says, to me, it's about seeking justice and equality and replacing white supremacy. So in my worldview, you can date and marry who you want, as long as eventually it's not denying the culture and its center in Africa. Okay. Racist white supremacists thrive on confusing their victims. Stop engaging in the confusion. And that's to the woman who says she is mixed race in the chat, so-called mixed race. I don't know. So we got a lot of thoughts, we got a lot of ideas and stuff. So we're gonna get into it. But classifications do matter, definitions and stuff do matter. So I like it. We getting into it. So please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. Welcome to On the Shows with Giants. If this is your first time, you know, we talk about, I share the stories of sung and unsung heroes of the African diaspora. We also have candid conversations, truthful conversations about things that's going on within our community, so we can help to get ourselves together so we can be a stronger group of people, a more empowered group of people, a more united group of people, of people who love ourselves better, so that we can put ourselves in a position to replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice, right? So we're just trying to do our part. I believe nobody has the answer, but I believe if we all do enough studying and enough work and get enough experience, we can all have a piece of the puzzle. And my goal is to get as much of these puzzle pieces together so we can look at what's in front of us. But we're gonna have all type of conversations. What's going on, Kiki? How you doing? So I think black people can marry non-white people without the same dangers than marrying a white person. Well, we're gonna see. A mixed race person is black for the purposes of white, color, caste, ethnic purity. We have our own internal issues, colorism, but I don't make a big deal out of being mixed like most mixed people. Well, I don't, then for the, I don't see, me personally, I don't have an issue with mixed race people, me personally. I understand what America is a different place. And I understand how the environments, cultural norms, all these things can bring about all these type of different issues for certain types of people. So, you know, like you're saying, if you are mixed race and you don't have those issues, I think that's amazing. I think that's great. I think that's good that you able to find you within you. So I think that's good. But we're going to get into this conversation because I think this is a good conversation. Like I said, I have my thoughts, I have my comments and all these things. Now I'm going to get into it. So let me run my commercial real quick and then we gonna do what we do. So I told y'all I was gonna get my merch shop up and running. So I've got it. So I want to show y'all my merch shop. So this is it. So I got some hats. So I got my own The Shoulders of Giants hats available for order. I have shirts. This supposed to be like a canvas, some kind of shirt, jersey shirt. I don't know why they got that design, but it's a jersey shirt. Somebody wanted. They got the hoodies, regular shirts, heavy, what they call it, the heavy tee, tees for men's, unisex tees for women, everything. I got a mug. I gotta get this mug too. But this is the merch that I have available. See, I got my mug, I have my hats, and I have my apparel available. And all of that is, the links and stuff are below and connected to the video. So I got my merch shop up and running, been working on that for a minute in the background to get my merch shop up and running. So I got it up and running. So if you want to support the channel and get you some merch, it's all available, links below and links attached to the video. All right. So please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. If you see that hype button, please hit that hype button. I know it's elusive. My brother Curran, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Tim Johnson, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? What? We are Black Americans. We have nothing to do with Africans. Leave Black Americans alone. Okay. So basically, like I'm saying, we're tackling a controversial issue for some, an emotional issue for some, and an intellectually complex issue for some. And it's all wrapped up in modern Black political and cultural life. So the question on the table is, can a Black person be pro-Black and marry interracially? Once again, can a person be pro-Black and marry interracially? Now, let me say this before I go further and we get into it. There are going to be those of us who agree and those of us who disagree. Let's agree and disagree civilly. We may not agree on many things and we may agree on some things, but let's just agree and disagree civilly. Let's just be cool about it. But there are also a lot of, you're going to see in this video, there's a lot of caveats and a lot of different things. So, but I do have questions and ideas and things that I am going to reveal. So, and we all know this ain't a new conversation, right? Debates like this have gone on for like over 150 years, discussed by all type of people, scholars, activists, revolutionaries, everyday people, just trying to get an understanding of what's going on and what it truly means as far as to be pro-Black, right? And at the center of this discussion are deeper questions. Once again, what does it mean to be pro-Black? Is being pro-Black, is it about belief? Is it about behavior? Is it about who you love? Or is it about what you build and who you build it with and who you build it for? Can someone contribute to Black progress without being pro-Black? And perhaps the most uncomfortable question of all is, does a Black person even have to be pro-Black? So once again, let's agree to disagree civilly. And if we do disagree, let's just be an adult about it. Let's not be emotional. Let's be intellectual, and let's have some good, honest dialogue, and let's get into it. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get into this conversation.
If you're talking about Black empowerment and Black culture, Black unity, how can you support Black unity when you ever create is with somebody that's not Black?
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, my favorite podcast, everybody's favorite podcast, Afronomics. We have a special host-only episode for y'all today, and we're gonna get a lot of comments for this one. I'm loving it. We're gonna have a good conversation.
What's going on, Astro? How you doing, Astro?
Tell the people.
Oh, my name is C-Todd.
What's going on, Timothy?
Just in case, yeah. Just y'all wanted to know. He's trying to stay anonymous because of this topic.
My name is Llewellyn Dave Dixon, the only. There is none like me. There you go.
All right, yeah. So this one, we ain't got no wallet for today. This episode is gonna be very interesting, maybe a little controversial.
Don't cancel us, and if you do, my bad.
But you know, these opinions are our own. So don't be offended or nothing. But today's topic is, can you be pro-Black and marry outside of your race? Yeah. Yeah. That's the question. First, before we get into it, we gotta define what is pro-Black. What does pro-Black even mean? Just to make sure that we all on the same page about what it is. So this is the definition we're gonna go with. Being pro-Black means actively supporting and celebrating Black people, culture, and identity. It's a stance that promotes Black empowerment, often involving a focus on building Black power structures, advocating for policies that benefit Black communities, and fostering unity and pride within the Black community. It does not inherently mean being anti-other races.
So now, let's
advocating for policies that celebrating Black people about what it Yeah, that's the question. That's the
Let's let
question.
him say it again.
First, before we get into, we gotta define what
is pro-black.
What does pro-black even mean? Just to make sure that we all on the same page about what it is.
What it is.
So this is the definition we're gonna go with. Being pro-black means actively supporting and celebrating black people, culture, and identity. It's a stance that promotes black empowerment, often involving a focus on building black power structures, advocating for policies that benefit black communities, and fostering unity and pride within the black community. It does not inherently mean being anti-other races. Now,
so you hear what his definition is. I would say for his definition, black family structure is missing. I noticed that was missing out of the definition that he had. I'm not sure where he got it from, but I do notice that building and maintaining black families was not in that definition. So I looked up some definitions of what it means to be pro-black, and this is what I have. And there's 3 different definitions. And so one definition is from a cultural or psychological standpoint of what it means to be pro-black. And it says loving black people, supporting black culture, and defending black dignity. Once again, definition A, the cultural or psychological definition is loving black people, supporting black culture, and defending black dignity. Definition B, which is a more of a political definition, is supporting policies that benefit black communities, fighting systematic racism, and advocating for black empowerment. Once again, definition B, the political definition, is supporting policies that benefit black communities, fighting systematic racism, and advocating for black empowerment. The third definition, which is a definition C, which is a nationalist or group survival definition for pro-blackness, is supporting black self-determination, supporting black economic independence, and supporting black family continuity. Once again, definition C, the nationalist or group survivalist definition for pro-blackness, is supporting black self-determination, supporting black economic independence, and supporting black family continuity. So after hearing his definition and reading all 3 that were in front of me, I more so resonate with the nationalist or the group survival definition of pro-blackness, is supporting black self-determination, supporting black economic independence, and supporting black family continuity. That is the definition that I more so resonate or identify with. I'm not saying so. And remember, one thing, let me say this too. This is not a right or wrong conversation either. This is not a right or wrong. It's just putting ideas out on the table, and we seeing where we at and how we line up and how we think about this. But it's an interesting conversation, but it's not a right or wrong conversation either. So I do want to put that out there. But I did want to give those definitions. And once again, I align more with the nationalist or the group survival definition of pro-blackness, which is supporting black self-determination, supporting black economic independence, and supporting black family continuity. So let's let them continue.
Mr. Dave, Mr. Llewellyn Dave Dixon, let's start with you. What is your stance on this topic?
Well, before we do that, can you send me that definition? Because the linguist in me wants to go through certain words there, so I can, as I prove my points. That's the definition we're going to work with for this one, and that I haven't seen it, as I just said. I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't form any of my opinions based off of that. I have my opinions because I have my opinions. I think yes, you can be pro-black and marry outside of your race. However, because I think being pro-black it's a state of mind, heart, whatever. Like the end of the definition said, it doesn't mean that you're against any other races. But I think to really say that you're really about it and have like the real clout for it, it is the totality of doing all that you can to uplift and keep black black. Keep black. So I have noticed there are, in my experiences, there are the people who are fighting for black liberation or whatever, who have also decided to marry outside of their race. A lot of times those people do a lot of overcompensating to try and prove their worthiness to the community. I've seen.
You really explain, like, how?
So before he said, I do want to say this. You're going to notice that with their yeses, all of their yeses are accompanied by caveats, which is interesting. That all of their yeses, anyone who would agree, I'm not going to tell you who all agree, but anyone who would agree with, yes, you could be pro-black and marry outside of your race, you can marry non-black, all of those come with caveats. So I do want to say that.
I'm trying not to call nobody out.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to say it without saying it. So you have folks who will do the most to like say where they're from or talk about where they're from or things like that to kind of validate their blackness when they're talking to other black people, because they now have a white spouse or whatever involved in it, and they'll try to like say things and quote things like it almost sounds in a lot of ways. So I'm talking about three people that I know of, and these three people are leaders. They have loud voices in the community. They do things in the community in a lot of ways. Yeah, I'll leave that alone. But they have they in what they do and how they say things is almost as
what's going on, Reginald?
A white man trying to prove his loyalty and faithfulness to the community. I'm not saying everybody who's in interracial relationships are like this, but I think it's easier to say that you are pro-black and live pro-black if you have a black spouse. That's just it. And I'm not saying you should control who you can control who you fall in love with, because you can't. But that's just, it is what it is.
So once again, it depends on how pro-blackness is defined either by you or within the realm that you were coming from. Because even looking at my notes, it's talking about two different lenses of pro-blackness. It's saying a lens of pro-blackness that more so aligns with Marcus Garvey, that is more of a nationalist and group survival terms, or a lens of pro-blackness more aligned with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which would be defined more in terms of justice and equality. Now, I will say pro-blackness is action-based. Meaning, what are you doing? Not just what are you saying, but pro-blackness is action-based. What are you actively and regularly doing to help advance or empower or uplift black people? Pro-blackness is, you're not pro-black just because you just say it. You're not pro-black just because you just say a lot of stuff on the internet. In my opinion, that doesn't make you pro-black just because you talk black or you look black or you smell black or you sound black. Pro-blackness is action-based. And if you look, once again, going back to the definition of pro-blackness that I align with, it says supporting black self-determination, action-based. Supporting black economic independence, action-based. Supporting black family continuity, action-based. I'm just saying. And I want to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Unity Strength for the $5 super chat. Thank you. Let me do my little song.
Look at all this money, homie. I got all this money, homie.
Thank you. What has the best chance of ending first? The religious wars, the diaspora wars, or the gender wars? Or is the funding of the grifts just too profitable? Well, you can end. Well, first of all, our job as black people in America, we got to clean up our house. So whatever, if all three of those are affected by our house, we got to clean up our house. So our job is to clean up our house. So if the religious war is something that affects our house, or the gender war, the diaspora war, if all those are affected by, and it's messing up our house, then we got to deal with it. But my focus is on our house, us cleaning up our house. And if we do what we need to do, we're going to clean up our house and get our house straight. So I'm not really worried about the wide range of everybody else or whatever, because I'm not down with the religious wars. I'm not down with the diaspora wars. I'm not down with the gender wars. I'm down with cleaning up our house. So that's my answer to that. But I appreciate the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Jessica Marie, how you doing? How you doing? Rick O'Neal, how you doing? Thank you for being up in here. There are whole social movements online around dividing the genders in our community. Yeah, I'm not down with I stopped watching a lot of these channels and all these other things when I realized that they were trying to convince, especially I seen black creators trying to convince black men not to mess with black women. And what I realized that they were doing was they were focusing on the loud minority of black women who have the undesirable behavior. They were focusing on that loud minority and trying to paint that as all black women. And I'm smart enough, and I've been in the game enough, and I've been around long enough to understand that you can't paint all black women, because I'm around black women all day, every day. I'm in an industry that's dominated by women, by black women, and black women around me. And I see black women across the country, and they don't act like that. So I understood that. So yeah, Brian, I'm with you on that. Yeah. Rick says, I believe that pro-black means having actions to show the culture, language, beliefs on what blackness is. In short, don't shy away from who you are. Yep. It's action-based. Alfonso says, let me say this. For many people in the chat, if you're trying to replace white supremacy with justice, then let's focus on that and let's not get caught up in these internet games. I mean, yeah. What's going on? The black man called Preston. What's going on? Robert Smith, how you doing? In a society that is so anti-black, black love is revolutionary, and it starts with, hey, I'm with you on that. What does one gain from being pro-black? That's a good question. Well, once again, justice for help. I think that goes to back what I was saying earlier, is how does the individual, or even the group that the individual is a part of, define pro-blackness? Because that's one of my questions. What if I'm considered to be pro-black? Well, and matter of fact, some of the most progressive and supportive people, and some of the people that I see on a regular basis in my community that are giving back to the community, that are empowering the community, uplifting the community, they are not considered pro-black. So a long time ago, I started just looking at different things, like, does that title mean anything if it's not backed up by actions? Like, who cares if you are considered pro-black if you are just considered pro-black? Where's the progress? Like, what's everything coming out of that, right? So that's one thing, like, to just be labeled as pro-black, like, it doesn't matter if you're labeled as pro-black if nothing comes out of that. Because once again, I've seen with my own eyes and my community, like, the people who actually are boots on the ground, who are really helping the community, who are out there when I'm out there, who are in the trenches when I'm in there, those are not the people who are considered pro-black. The majority of those people are not considered pro-black. It's a handful of those people who are considered pro-black that are out in the trenches with us in the community. So the title doesn't mean anything to me. The title doesn't. But now, definitions do matter. Now, once again, it depends on how you define pro-blackness. And for me, once again, I define pro-blackness from more of a nationalist and the group survival standpoint, looking at supporting black self-determination, black economic independence, and supporting black family continuity. So things like that. So, but let's let this conversation continue. And please, if you are enjoying this conversation, please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and share. Let's go.
I found there's a lot of, it seems to be there's some sort of internal struggle amongst people who are trying to be pro-black and also marry outside their race.
Yeah, I think when you look
I
at
feel
it,
you, Jessica.
you're looking back, if you're talking about black empowerment
All right, we'll call you Jessica.
and black culture, black unity, how can you support black unity when the biggest union you ever create is with somebody that's not black? So that's, you know, one part of the conversation. When you look at it from a unity perspective. Also, I think the foundation of any community, as particularly black community, the foundation is the family. So if your family isn't black, like that's really one of the cornerstones of building strong communities, which is really one of the biggest things we have. We never really had unity. And when you aren't intentional with or by marrying a black partner, then that kind of creates an issue.
Right, Brian.
You know, the building block of community is the black family. Your family isn't black. How do you add to the community, for one? For two, you run to the issue, like we reacted to
Just, I didn't see that video. Send that
and
to
one of
me.
the things he was talking about was legacy. Now, when it comes to children, you know, your kids are now mixed. Biracial. And it's not to disparage biracial people, but what happens a generation down the line? Think about, like, you know, Drake, his son. You know, his son is a quarter black. And I'm not to pick on Drake, you know, his child, but he looks white. Like, he's pretty much white passing. And, you know, sometimes you'll have, and I can respect interracial kids who will, you know, really adhere to their black side and uplift their black side. But that don't happen a lot of the time. A lot of times you'll have like a biracial kid and then they'll pretty much align with one side. And it's typically going to be the side in power, which in our society currently is not black folks. So you got a lot of people that reject that black side, and then, like, as pro-black as you are, 2 generations down the line, your grandchildren are no longer black. My family, I have my family from Sierra Leone. They told me the story. My grandma had a brother that moved to London and lived there for like the rest of his life. He moved when he was a young man, started a family. His kids were mixed. His grandkids, he came back with his grandkids to Sierra Leone. I have an auntie, they said looks like Taylor Swift. Like, white, blonde hair.
That's crazy.
And we're related by blood.
That's crazy.
So it's like, you know, 2 generations down the line, your kids aren't black. But my answer to the question is actually yes, you can be pro-black, because there's examples like Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah is, you know, first president of Ghana, went to HBCU, Pledge Sigma, was the first president of Ghana, one of the biggest Pan-Africans, ended up getting exiled because of what he did for black people. I cannot fix my lips to say that Kwame Nkrumah is not pro-black. I can't do it. I can't ignore the contributions that he made to black people into the Pan-African movement just because he married somebody outside his race. I can't throw away everything he did. I can't say he's not pro-black. And then you got other people like Sheikh Anta Diop, who's a black professor.
I didn't know his wife is not white.
Who, Kwame
It's
Nkrumah?
not black. No, Sheikh Anta.
Sheikh Anta Diop, his wife is not. Yeah, his wife is not black.
Oh wow.
Anthropologist that he found the evidence that said the ancient Egyptians, the Kemites, were black. He proved that. His wife was not black. So I can't ignore the contributions he's made to promoting black people because of who he decided to marry. I think sometimes, like, you marry who you marry. Like, it's a situation. I think, you know, emotions are always going to play a role. Like, people marry people for rational reasons that go against logic all the time. So while I look at it from a point of positivity, I would promote black love and say be intentional, but I wouldn't necessarily disparage somebody for not following suit.
So that's where I think we got to learn how to be men and have conversations, take our feelings out of conversations, and be able to tell the truth. And if you have a definition of something, you don't stray away from your definition to try to spare feelings. So, like I said, I align with the definition of a nationalist group survival definition of pro-blackness, which is supporting Black self-determination, supporting Black economic independence, and supporting Black family continuity, which means, in my definition, in my world, you will not be considered pro-Black, or you will not meet the definition of pro-Blackness if you do not have a Black spouse, if you do not create a Black family. I'm gonna say that once again. In my definition, in my world, and how I align with pro-Blackness, I wouldn't consider somebody who would meet the definition of pro-Blackness if they do not have a Black family. You do not have a Black husband, you do not have a Black wife, and you do not recreate with Black children. Now, however, does that mean you cannot contribute to the Black cause? And another question is, just because you consider pro-Blackness, well, what does that mean? Does that mean you're a hero? Right? So just because you meet the definition don't mean nothing at the end of the day. Because he brought up Cheikh Anta Diop and who's the other person he brought up? Man, just slipped my mind. But so there's no way we would sit here and say we would do away with the contributions of Cheikh Anta Diop just because his wife was white. There's no way we would say that Cheikh Anta Diop is thrown away or Cheikh Anta Diop is dismissed. First of all, nobody ever said that. Nobody ever thought that. But definitions and categories do matter, right? There's a lot of definitions and categories that I don't meet, and a lot of us don't meet. But that doesn't mean that we throw away Cheikh Anta Diop. Even the other person he named, Kwame Nkrumah. That doesn't mean we throw them away. That doesn't mean that their contributions don't matter. That's not what that means. But at the end of the day, does it really matter to be labeled as pro-Black, to meet the definition of pro-Black? Does it really matter at the end of the day? So all those, and that's why I think this is a complex conversation, a good conversation as well to be put on the table. But I do think if you're gonna say it, because they're listening to that conversation. He believes, and I believe, that one of the foundations of pro-Blackness is the Black family, building the Black family, especially under the system of white supremacy, who's tried so hard to break up the Black family, and understanding that this, whether we want to be considered a race or not, whatever, it's happening. And this is a team sport. And part of their plan is to make sure that they diminish the family, that they diminish the numbers, that they diminish all these things. So, I mean, that's the hold up, there you go. But the Black family is important, but the Black family has always been under attack. The Black family has been under attack since they brought us here. They understood that if you diminish the family, you diminish the people. If you want to build a group of people, if you want to build a strong group of people, you have to build strong families. And can we really build strong Black families marrying interracially? Now, I am not the person who's going to stand on the soapbox or try to condemn somebody for marrying who they want to marry. You can marry who you want to marry. At the end of the day, Joseph Ward don't care who you marry. I don't care. It's not that deep to me. I'm not going on the campaign. I could promise you I'm not going on the campaign. I ain't doing none of that stuff to try to tell somebody that they wrong or try to make somebody feel like they wrong for marrying who they want to marry. You just not going to meet certain qualifications, and that's okay, because all of us don't always meet qualifications. It's okay. It's okay. But I saw it in the comments. I view the Black family and building and maintaining Black families as one of the most revolutionary things that Black people can do, whether you are in America or anywhere else in the world. To me, if you are not building Black families, then your priorities are somewhere else. And to me, If your priorities are somewhere else, your priorities are somewhere else. I'm not gonna try to convince you, because I know me. I'm over here, and I'm connecting with folk who build in Black families. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But I believe that to meet the definition of pro-Blackness, you have to build Black families. I do. Yaquaba, what's going on? Arieli. Yeah. I'm messing names up. I'm sorry. Aurelia, how you doing? Truth Hand Lies, how you doing? If I mess your name up, I am so sorry. I apologize. I'm horrible with names. I am horrible with names. Please forgive me. Black Pride, what's going on? How you doing? Luke Mine, my man in the building. What's going on, Luke Mine? Oscar Wilson, how you doing? How you doing? Gamer, how you doing? Truth and Lies. So just honest conversation, open conversations, right? And once again, understanding that we're not going to agree on everything. Okay, thank you. Ariel, gotcha, Ariel, gotcha, Ariel. And understanding coming into this conversation that we might not agree on everything. Understood. But just giving my thoughts, my stance, my points, and just trying to have us look at this, start having these conversations, re-looking at these conversations and taking the emotions out, because we get nowhere, in my opinion, when we have a lot of these conversations, we have no progress and we get nowhere because too many emotions are involved. So let's have real conversations that we pull back on the emotions and kind of put more thinking into it and looking at, is this constructive? Is this practical? So to build something solid and long-lasting and foundational for Black people in America, does it make sense to marry and build families with non-Black people if the goal is to empower Black people? Can you truly empower Black people by creating non-Black families? So if, let's say, if half of Black America or even a third of Black America is marrying interracially, how does that positively affect Black America in a self-determination type of way, in an economic type of way, or in a family continuity type of way? You know, I grew up, I just say this, I grew up in a household, and it's been drilled in me, it's my mindset, and it's just how I think. I married Black. I'm the Black dude who, I look Black, I talk Black, I think Black, I act Black, I marry Black, I date Black. I love Black women. Joseph Ward, I have eyes for Black women. That's me. Once again, I am not going to go on no campaign against nobody who have eyes for women of other races. That's your business. But there will be things that you may be excluded from. So yeah. So let's go. So let's continue this conversation. So please hit that like button, y'all. Please hit that like button. I appreciate y'all being up in here chatting with me on this good lunch and learn. Please hit that like button.
People have asked me, like, how do I feel about it? Because everybody knows I'm very, 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 very pro-Black. Like, how do I feel about interracial relationships? I don't discourage it. If it happens, it happens. But I'm also not gonna I have my preference of Black and Black. So we have people like so let's take it to celebrities that we know of, right? Most recently, Quinta Brunson was under fire. The woman who did Abbott Elementary, and what's it called? He got money. I love her stuff. We love Quinta. There's no shade, no hate towards that. But why did she feel like she had to hide the fact that her husband was white this entire time?
Was she hiding it?
I mean, it didn't. There was a clip that she was in a podcast and she was like, she made a joke. I'm going to assume it was a joke where she was like, I don't know no white people.
Man,
that's crazy.
I mean, and to what Brian is saying, hey man, like who like you. At the end of the day, like who like you. Like at the end of the day, like who like you. Like get with the person who's good for you at the end of the day. At the end of the day, forget what everybody else is talking about. Forget the noise. Forget all of that. And get with
I'm going to assume it's a joke because
get with the person that's best for you. right? And now, if you're a person who doesn't mind dating interracially, put yourself in that position to do all that. And if you're a person who exclusively dates within your race, put yourself in the position to do that. But make sure you find the best person that's for you within that realm. So do you, because at the end of the day, what Joseph Ward think don't matter to you. Joseph Ward not gonna be in the bed with you. I'm not gonna be in the house with you. I'm not gonna be in a relationship. Nobody else gonna be with you, and you're gonna have to deal with whatever you're dealing with and all of that yourself. So you do what's best for you. Don't worry about other people's ideologies. Don't worry about other people's ideas. At the end of the day, it don't affect you and your household. That's what people got to remember at the end of the day. No matter what conversations is had, no matter what ideas or rhetoric is thrown on the table, you got to do what's best for you. But like I say, I know for me, my wife is going to be a black woman. I know for me, in my world, in my ideologies, I'm with a black woman. You said you think it's hypocritical for black men to call out black women who date out black. Well, I mean, for those men, yeah, but you got to remember, like those men who are doing that, they got a little issue. That's them. So you ignore those men, because the other men, like real black men, don't give a damn. Real black men ain't paying attention to all that. So yeah, forget them. Forget those dudes who, whatever. Ignore that. But let's keep going.
She's a comedian.
Yeah, that's true.
Childish Gambino also, his wife is white. And he kept that under wraps for the longest time. He's also very pro-black. And so it's like these celebrities that and again, I'm not against it, but it's like if that's you, own it and be cool about it. Like don't hide it. Don't hide it, because then it looks like you were trying to okie doke.
If you married racially,
like just be who you are, and that's it. But nah, I don't think it invalidates your pro-blackness. I do think if you fall in love with somebody, you fall in love with somebody. So be it.
Well, see, I think we got to use different words. So I think we got to use different language, because he just said invalidates your pro-blackness, and it. The way he's saying it, it makes it seems like just because, like I used the examples they used, they threw out Kwame Nkrumah and Cheikh Anta Diop. So we're going to use those examples because they threw them out. And if you're using the language that if you date or marry interracially, then that invalidates your pro-blackness. We can't use that language. To me, that's irresponsible language, because we're not invalidating Kwame Nkrumah. We're not invalidating Cheikh Anta Diop. Remember at the beginning, I said pro-blackness is action-based. We're talking people who mightily contribute to black people. They may not meet the definition. And see, that's the difference between saying somebody may not meet a classification and somebody is invalidated. We would not use the words invalidate. They may not meet the definition or meet the classification, but they are definitely not invalidated. In the framing, and that's one of my issues with this conversation, is the framing and the language that was used. Because once again, at the end of the day, just because you are not considered pro-black, so what? Just because you consider pro-black don't mean you out here saving the world. You know how many pro-black people I know who do, or people who are considered pro-black who do nothing? Right. So I mean, all of that. Now, I still think the black family, building, maintaining, and promoting the black family is one of the most revolutionary things that black people can do. And to me, that's the foundation of pro-blackness, from my definition of pro-blackness. But you don't have to rock with my definition, because I'm not going to be in your relationship, right? But if you're asking me for the sake of this conversation, the black family, creating, maintaining, and supporting, promoting black family is the foundation of pro-blackness. But the framing and the language that we use, we have to be responsible with the language that we use. We're not invalidating Kwame Nkrumah. We're not invalidating Cheikh Anta Diop. They may not meet definitions. but we're not invalidating them.
That's what it is. However, you know, it's better for the culture and the people if we keep the black and black.
I mean, I think it's also it's one of those things, like, it sounds good in theory, you can be. I think in practice, it's usually not the case. Like, I think most of the time there's, you know, you can be pro-black and marry outsider. I think most of the times it's not the same. And let's be clear, not being pro-black does not automatically make you a coon. Like, it's not like a one or the other.
Right.
So it's like you're not going against the race just because. So it's like,
right.
But, you know, I think most people that marry outside the race aren't necessarily pro-black. And go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and also I want to distinguish two types of people here. There's people who are like black leaders, like the people who are like the pro-black leaders, and then there's your everyday average Joe type of person who's just living their life and whatever. I'm not talking about the everyday average Joe type of person who's just living their life, because they don't have any real, there's not like any particular stances that they may have taken publicly to lead anything or voice their thoughts.
The more out there you talking about,
exactly.
More of a
so it's more like, if you out here talking about stuff, then it's like, okay, now let's look at your life and see what your life is like.
Do you live that?
Yeah,
practice what you preach?
Exactly. That's where I'm talking about. So that's why I'm the people that I mentioned before, they're leaders, and I'm talking about people like Childish Gambino and Quincy Brunson.
Yeah, but you can't, when we're talking about pro-blackness and we're talking about contributions. First of all, Childish Gambino and Quincy Brunson can't even be mentioned in the same sentence as Kwame Nkrumah and Che Diop as far as contributions. Let's stop it. Once again, and I'm glad he used that, because Childish Gambino and Quincy Brunson are labeled as pro-black. But can we really, if pro-blackness is action-based, outside of making songs and stuff, what real actions have they done to advance black people? Now, he was trying to exclude the everyday black person. You cannot exclude the everyday black person when you're defining pro-blackness, because it's the everyday black person who put in the groundwork and the foundational work and the fundamental work for those who have those big names to be able to do what they do. Because pro-blackness, you cannot do, it doesn't work in a silo like that. Kwame Nkrumah, Che Diop, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all these other people that we would label as pro-black and we would see as pro-black, and we would have those. They were great because of those who were around them. They were great because of the everyday people who contributed to everything around them. You cannot dismiss the everyday person, and you cannot dismiss the everyday person's thoughts and ideologies when it comes to that as well. Because the everyday person, just because you don't know their name, doesn't mean their contribution is not meaningful. And to me, that was that's one of the problems that I had with this conversation is you're trying to define pro-blackness and looking at pro-blackness through a lens of celebrity, rather than looking at pro-blackness from an everyday standpoint. Those celebrities or those people who have those names, they don't get there by themselves. They don't get there by themselves. And so it goes to something that Rufus was saying earlier, like to be pro-black or revolutionary to what extent, especially if nothing is coming out of it, they're getting no concrete results out of it. It's a good question. It's a good comment. It's a good thing to think about. What's the point of all of this if we just get symbolic gestures out of it? But it's the thought processes, it's the conversations that I had. We accept the symbolic gestures. It's enough for us. It's enough for us for somebody to make a song, This Is America, and then because they make that song, This Is America, we label him as pro-black. That's crazy to me. Pro-blackness should be steeped in actions. It's action-based. Right, Rufus? They were not pro-black, but they contributed mightily to black people. But you don't have to be labeled as pro-black, or you don't have to label yourself as pro-black. You don't have to. It's not the end of the world. It's not like when you pass away, it's gonna be on your tombstone or something that made your family better just because you labeled yourself as pro-black. You still got to do what you need to do for yourself, for your family, and your people. The title means nothing. If it's not based in actions and it's not based in actually empowering and uplifting black people, the black family, the black race, then I don't know what you're talking about. I'm in a pro-black. So who is this? 6 on. I'm at 6 on 616. So anytime a black man or woman has a child by any other race, it's a black baby, right? But that's determined by the one drop rule determined by white people. But the race of the father determines what type of family it is by default. Okay. So let's continue the conversation.
Because they're out there and they're very outspoken about being pro-black. That's like if Issa Rae, after being famous for saying I'm voting for everybody black, now she goes and marries a white man. Yeah, that's when it's like
a little contradictory.
Sis, what's up? How you really feel about the situation?
No, that's a good point. And I'm gonna look at the camera when I say this. If you do marry outside your race or you date outside your race, do not ever be disrespectful to the people in your race, because that is a sign of self-hate. If you want to marry Becky with the good hair, and that's you, that's who you love, don't ever dare disrespect black women saying that they ain't this, they ain't that, because you decided to marry outside your race. That's disrespectful, it's anti-black, and it shows self-hate. So we do not condone that. You do what you want for you, celebrate you, but don't ever disparage people in your race. That's not okay.
And also, to add to that point, don't go outside of your race because you blocked in every group of every woman or every man in your race and just put them all in the same box and said, oh, black women ain't nothing or black men ain't nothing. No, that's your...
Eugene, we're saying specifically not to be black and marry interracially. We're specifically asking, do you meet the definitions or the qualifications of pro-blackness if you marry interracially? If you marry outside of your race, do you meet the definition or the qualifications of being pro-black if you marry somebody who is not black?
Experience with whomever you have decided to surround yourself around, because I know a lot of white women and Asian women or whatever that have some of the traits that y'all say y'all hate in black women, and it's there too. Yeah. So don't go out there trying to disparage nobody, and because of your experiences,
and be wary of being fetishized too. You seen this black boyfriend effect thing on TikTok?
Dog,
that's wild. Like,
yeah, that was wild.
They talking about some black wild boyfriend effect, and it's like, oh, you just wearing J's.
Like, I appreciate
that's
you.
What you
I appreciate you, my brother.
So I've never been with anybody outside of my race, because I've been specifically not white, because I refuse to have a moment where we might have to edit. I don't want, if you say BBC, I'm done. I refuse to be, especially, I'm African. We're not having that conversation. That's gonna feel like I'm some sort of fantasy slave, whatever thing.
PC in the building.
I can't do it.
PC.
It feels weird. It's uncomfortable.
Do you meet the definition of the qualification? PC. Do you meet the definition of the qualification of being pro-black if you marry somebody or make a family with somebody who is not black? That's the question on the table.
I would hope white women do that.
Please hit that like button, y'all.
Really?
Please hit that like button.
I've seen it.
That's insane.
I've seen it.
I mean, that's what we got. What's the name?
And I've heard stories.
What's the name? Shannon? Isn't that one Unc did? Wasn't that part of the text?
Can't do it, big dog. I can't do it. No.
Yeah, no.
Y'all want to speak? growing up the families. Like, let's say he marries into a white family, his family or her family, her mom, her dad, how they feel about like.
Yeah, that's another point too. Marrying into certain families and you don't know how they feel about you.
Yeah. A lot of times they'll make it known. Because like just because your partner is progressive and more liberal, don't mean her parents are.
Like, what's the white comedian? The white dude who married a black woman?
Bill Burr or Gary Owen.
He talked about how his father is racist. But he's not, apparently, according to him, he's like his dad is not like, I hate black people. He just don't know no black people. And so
I think it's crazy, in my opinion. I think it's crazy to marry into a family of people that hate you for any reason, especially hate you because of your race, who don't mess with you, who don't want you mixing with their kind. I think it's crazy I would never pursue a relationship or try to recreate or marry a woman if her family rejects me because of my race and they believe that we shouldn't be mixing. You're right, we shouldn't be. And I'm gone, I'm throwing the deuces. I'm not doing that. I would not try to convince anybody of who I am. I can't change the color of my skin. I can't change my background. I can't change my history, none of that. I will not be performing for anybody or not trying to convince nobody to do anything else, right? Nope. If they don't want me, I'm only going where I'm wanted. I'm only going where I'm celebrated. I'm liking who like me. My brother Will Justice, what's going on? I like who like me. I rock with who rock with me. I'll be damned if I marry into or even recreate with somebody who their family is vehemently against my own existence, let alone my existence mixing with their bloodline. Nope, not doing it. That to me that's wild. That's wild. That's crazy. Like my man PC say, that's wild turkey. That's wild turkey.
His ideas of who black people are just destroyed. But Gary Owen has only ever been with black women. And that's one of those things where it's like, the person likes you, but how their family feel?
Yeah.
Are you ever gonna really feel like family, like at home?
Yeah,
when you're around
families married, at least, especially in like our community and our culture, your family married the other family. So it's like it's not just a union and y'all
together.
Y'all tied. Y'all tied together. And if you literally got family that hates you, that's not a good look. And I outside of just race, I wouldn't want to marry somebody and they got to choose between me and their family.
Yeah, like, that's crazy. I'm not doing that.
Because that's your foundation. Because if you got to cut them off to be with me, now you done lost the whole part of your support system, which puts more burden on.
Gamer, a white family can be harmful to white men. An Asian family can be harmful to Asian men. An Arabic family can be harmful to Arabic men. A Chinese family can be harmful to Chinese men. That's human. That's not something that's exclusive to black people. That's human. Humans do that. We're talking about human behavior now. Yeah. ISS Manny, happy Foundational Black American Month, my brother. I appreciate you for the $2 sticker. I appreciate you, my brother, for the support.
Look at all this money, homie. I got all this money, homie.
Yeah, my brother. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like we gotta stop approaching black unity with fear. Let's approach it with understanding. We were never brought here to be together. That's one of the reasons why building a black family is such a revolutionary act. First of all, looking at racial dynamics, right? Whether you want to participate in or not, looking at racial dynamics. Black people, we have to be a strong, unified, empowered group of people amongst ourselves who self-actualize amongst ourselves and who build amongst ourselves. And we need black families at the foundation of that. That's one of the reasons why it's so revolutionary because white people, since they brought us here, have worked overtime to make sure that they destroy black families, that they destroy black unity, that they destroy black progress. Black people loving black people is not something that white people want. That's something that challenges the system of white supremacy. It's a threat to the system of white supremacy. Black people actually getting along. Black people actually loving each other. Black people actually building and recreating healthy families. Black people self-actualizing amongst themselves without any other contribution or worldview from any other group. That's why the black family building, maintaining, promoting the black family is so revolutionary. It's one of the main things that they denied us from doing when they brought us here. They pit black men and black women together just to breed more slaves. Remember, back in slavery, jumping the broom came from black people who were willing to die to build family, who were willing to die to be together in a unity. A survival unit, but it's a unit. What's going on, Renee? How you doing? So, I mean, building black families, maintaining black families, promoting black families, black love, healthy black families, black love is one of the most foundational things we should be doing as black people. Now, I'm not going to convince anybody who don't want to do it. I'm not going to convince you. I'm not recruiting. I may just say that I don't recruit. If you don't want to be down with what we down with, cool. I am not recruiting. If the message resonates and you want to rock with it. But I am not recruiting. I don't recruit nobody. I just tell the truth. But I do believe one of the most foundational things, once again, my definition of pro-blackness, how I rock with pro-blackness, how I see pro-blackness is from a nationalist and a group survival standpoint. And being it's from a nationalist and a group survival standpoint, it's steeped in supporting black self-determination. It's steeped in supporting black economic independence. It's steeped in supporting black family continuity. So which means building and maintaining the black family would be foundational for that. So I promote black love. My eyes are only for black women. That's me. That's me. That's me and a lot of folk that I rock with. So, you know. But once again, if somebody don't want to do that, that's their business. That's their business. I'm not going on no campaigns to convince nobody to do anything that they don't want to do. So say I don't look at biracials as black people. I look at them as a whole nother race of people. Well, genetically they are a mixture of black and white, and that's okay. And that's okay for them to acknowledge and recognize both sides of their lineage. Both sides. It's okay. I believe it is absolutely impossible to deal in interracial relationship and celebrate black history. Hey, Renee, I grew up in a household where my mom and my dad both preached, don't bring no white girls home. Of course, when I was young, I heard it. It was a bit pushback. But as I got older and I started learning more about our history, learning more about the psychology of everything that happened around us, I understood the need for black families. I understood the way the structure of the black family was positive and empowering to the black race. And I want to be a part of making sure that black America is better. It's stronger, it's more united, we're more of a cohesive group of people rather than just this scattered group of people who are trying to survive. But we need to be together. But family is the foundation of that. Black family is the foundation of that. But also, just because you are labeled as pro-black don't mean that the black community is better because of you. Just because other people consider you pro-black doesn't mean that the black community is better because of you. Pro-blackness is an action. It's not a stamp to say that you've arrived. It's a label. It's a label right now, but it should be based in your actions. but it doesn't mean anything. And just because you're not considered pro-black doesn't mean you have not contributed mightily to the empowerment and the upliftment of black people. So let's continue. Let's finish this video.
On me, and not to say that I don't want to
Please hit that like
be
button.
there or be supportive, but it's like I think a lot of times that puts an extra strain on the relationship when you have to be everything to your partner.
Yeah.
So you can't rely on stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I personally, I have white cousins. I call them, they're my white cousins. My cousins have married white people, and they cool. Like I love them.
Yeah.
They've been fully adopted into the family. All of that.
Yeah.
You know what Africans do. One of the first things we do when somebody is outside the culture, we ask them what food they have they eaten. And no, they've completely adopted a culture where and that's family. There's not a problem with it, but it's just like you gotta make sure I actually haven't talked to my cousin about my blood related cousin about how their spouses feel about how their spouses' families feel about their relationships. I also haven't heard any horror stories, but I also haven't asked. That'd be interesting. I'm gonna find out.
Yeah.
So cousins, if y'all watching, y'all might get a phone call.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think if it works for you, it works for y'all. Marriage in itself is difficult. So if you can find somebody that's gonna rock with you for the long term, yeah, nigga could be purple like shit.
Facts.
Make it happen. So yeah, we don't want to discourage
to the
nothing.
caveats.
So to answer the question, can you be pro-black and marry outside of your race? The answer is yes, with a caveat.
However,
That means you don't believe your answer.
yeah,
there are
You don't
some
believe
things
your
that
answer.
you must consider
yeah,
along the way. And yes.
yeah. It's a wrap. Well, wait, you about to say?
No, go ahead.
I was saying that's a wrap, unless you had
No,
something.
wrap it
to
up.
say.
Yeah.
Unless y'all wanted to speak on like representation in the community, like how if they were to have children, will they see people like them? Will they see people like?
Yeah. No, we spoke on that, but it brings up a good point though about like legacy, because like if you're black, but by the time, especially because Dr. Umar brought up the example of Kobe, you know, his kids are mixed. Now, if his daughter, so of course he made a lot of money as an athlete, a lot of money, athlete endorsements, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, hands down. And there's a lot of money that are going to be passed down, you know, is left to his wife, now to their kids. If his kids then partner with somebody who is not black, but Kobe's grandchildren are not going to be black. Like they're not even going to be looking like they're going to look like other races.
Yeah.
Now, that essentially took all of that wealth that he built that would have normally stayed in the black community had he married a black woman is now going to another community. So from a wealth building standpoint, generational wealth, you essentially could lose
all of that.
Right.
And it could be pushed outside the black community.
Exactly.
Especially if your kids don't
have the ties.
The
ties and the heart towards it. If
They don't believe.
Honestly, if you didn't raise them to have the ties towards it.
And and sometimes it's like, you know, kids don't do what you say, they do what they see. So like if you're a black dad and you got a white wife and you have mixed kids, your son is more than likely gonna marry a white woman because we tend to, it's actually proven psychologically, we tend to partner up with people that remind us of our parents, and particularly the opposite sex parent.
Yep.
So like if you're a black mixed boy with a black dad, white mom, you're more likely gonna be attracted to white women. Same with like if you're a black girl with white dad and a black mom, you might be more attracted to white men, like Karen Parsons, who played Hillary on Fresh Prince.
Yep.
I think Paula Patton too.
Yep.
Meghan Markle.
Tia and Tamara Mowry.
They don't. Like we don't talk about like the black women with white men, but it happens a lot, and a lot of times it's that same dynamic of who is your opposite sex parent.
Yep.
And you kind of fall in line with that.
Yep.
Well, you change the conversation when you talk about mixed race people choosing a partner. If you're a mixed race, black, white, you could go either way, in my opinion. I don't think a mixed race person has to choose black or white. I think they can go either way because they are a mixture of both. They can go either way. So to me, that's a separate conversation of who mixed race people choose. But we're talking about, if we're talking about, because T and Tamara, what they have nothing to do with pro-blackness. Like, and that's one of the things about this conversation. This conversation was all over the place, and a lot of language that was used, I just didn't think was the best language for this, and dismissive language and all these things. Because Tia and Tamara and Quinta Brunson and Donald Glover, all of them, they don't have nothing to do with pro-blackness. You're not pro-black just because you say something to advance the cause of black people. That don't make you pro-black. Just because you said I'm against racism, that doesn't make you pro-black. It's action-based. So pro-blackness is action-based. One of the first actions, or one of the greatest actions, would be preserving the black family, building black family, maintaining black family. Stop. I wish people would stop with these damn celebrities. These celebrities live in a different world. They live in a different bubble. We don't live the same life. They don't live the everyday life that we live. Forget these damn celebrities. It's the everyday people. We are the foundation of all of this. We are the foundation of all this, the everyday people. So I'll state my thoughts, my feelings, my opinions. At the end of the day, in my opinion, and we're talking about the definition of pro-blackness, how we're classifying and defining people as pro-blackness. I believe if you are not marrying and building black families, you don't meet the qualifications and the definition of being pro-black. Now, I will follow that up with, just because you are defined as pro-black, what does that mean? Does that mean that the black community is better because you are pro-black, or what? And remember, your definition of pro-blackness may be different from my definition of pro-blackness. Also, at the end of the day, Joseph Ward don't give a damn about who you lay down with. But just understand that who you choose to lay down with may exclude you from certain circles. It may exclude you from certain conversations, and it may exclude you from certain rooms. Just understand that, and you need to be okay with it. We all don't meet all classifications and definitions. Hey, that's the thing, right? But if we're talking about building for black people, then we got to stick to black people. I don't condone nobody for marrying who they marry. You got people who marry within their race who marry wrong. You got people who marry outside their race who marry wrong. But if we're talking about building specifically, because once again, the definition I'm rocking with for pro-blackness, it is a nationalist and group survivalist definition of pro-blackness. It is supporting black self-determination. Black self-determination. Self-determination means us black people, for us, by us, with us, nobody else. Supporting black economic independence for us, and supporting black family continuity. And so it needs to look black, sound black, feel black, talk black, but be action-based and making sure blackness is promoted, that blackness is continued. This is a numbers game. This is a competition we in. And whether you like it or not, Team Black needs to be strong. You didn't ask to be on this team. I didn't ask to be on the team, but damn it, we on the team. And if we don't play the game right, we're going to lose. And it's going to be even uglier for us. So we better do something for ourselves. Right? We better do something for ourselves and stop lying around, stop looking for comfortable places, and just stop waiting on white people to change their mind. They haven't changed their mind in over 400-500 years. But black family is essential. Don't let anybody try to convince you that black family is not essential. At the same time, like who like you. At the end of the day, like who like you. Rock with who is the best person for you. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you very much. At the end of the day, Joseph Ward would not be in your bedroom. Joseph Ward would not be in your relationship. Joseph Ward not gonna be at your wedding. Joseph Ward not gonna be in your will. Joseph Ward not gonna be in nothing you got going on. So rock with who is the best person for you at the end of the day. For you. For you. That's how you do it. Door of L, my brother. How you doing, my brother? How you doing? Astro, how you doing? So with that being said, that will conclude this Lunch and Learn. I appreciate all y'all for pulling up on this Lunch and Learn and rocking with me as we had this conversation. And I'm glad that we can have this conversation in a way that's not emotional, but putting thoughts, ideas on the table, and looking at John Brown wasn't pro-black. John Brown was an ally. John Brown was not pro-black. John Brown was an ally. Like, definitions do matter. We can't just throw people in things. Definitions matter. Classifications matter. John Brown was an ally. He wasn't pro-black. So, and that's okay. It's okay because his contributions are not diminished. You don't have to be considered pro-black. Remember that. What does it mean to be considered pro-black? And is it a badge of honor to be considered pro-black? Right? But if we're talking about what pro-blackness is, the foundation of pro-blackness is building and maintaining black families. But if that's not something you did, cool. You should. It's not an emotional thing. It's not an emotional thing. It's okay. It's okay. You still black. And if you contribute mightily to black people, it's okay. And if you're a non-black person who did something to the extent of John Brown, you are an ally. You are not pro-black. You are an ally. And we are not diminishing John Brown. We're not throwing nothing away. He was an ally. He was not pro-black. He was an ally. Those definitions matter. Classifications, they do matter. But we're not dismissing anybody. Nobody's contributions are being diminished. Nobody's being dismissed. Just proper perspective. It's okay. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? But that's that. But you know, and that's the thing. Like, once again, like, it was maybe 10 years ago. I'm like 5 years of doing work within my community. Like, we started off knocking on doors, doing surveys, trying to make sure we feed people, like all types of stuff we started doing. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing that the people who are around me, and we're in the communities. We're on the south side in the community. We're on the north side in the community. We're on the east side, the west side. We in the rural communities, the rural cities. And I'm looking who's around me. And I'm looking who's the day-to-day people. I'm looking at the older black women who are not considered pro-black. I'm looking at the older black men who are not considered pro-black. I'm looking at the young folk who are not considered pro-black. I'm looking at everybody who's contributing who are not considered pro-black. But are we gonna throw away what they do because they're not considered pro-black? So that's what I mean. Like, we don't have to be considered pro-black. If nobody considers me pro-black, I'm cool with it. Right now, because of our lack of real progress as a people, being labeled as pro-black really means nothing right now. But that's our fault. That's our fault because, once again, pro-blackness is action-based. And we have not put the action behind pro-blackness to make it mean anything other than just a slogan to make an individual feel good. But definitions and classifications do matter. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I will say, for me, Joseph Ward, I'm marrying black. I love black women. I've always been in relationships with black women. I've always had eyes for black women. So that's how I am. And if your view is different, cool. Like who like you, be with the person who is best for you. Because my opinion, what I eat don't make you shit. Remember that. But despite all of that, what we have to do at the end of this, what we have to do is learn how to get through the differences and work together. We got to learn how to get through the differences and work together and make sure that we are advancing our cause as black people. We don't have to agree on everything. We can agree to disagree, but one thing we do need to do is agree on the best way to move forward. And that's how we do what we do, when we do what we do, how we do. I love all y'all black folk. I love my black women. I love my black men, black children, the black community. I love all y'all. Let's make sure we loving each other in a healthy manner. Yeah. So I appreciate you all. And I see y'all live tomorrow. And make sure y'all, my Friday breakdown is available now. So make sure you check out the Friday breakdown. And I got 2 other videos hitting out today. My Friday breakdown out now. And I got another video on Francois McIndoll that should be dropping around 3 o'clock. So make sure y'all check that out. I love y'all. Make sure y'all love y'all black selves. And let's be better. And let's continue to grow and glow. And I'll see y'all live tomorrow at 3:30. We're dealing with some more of this FBA, diaspora war stuff, all these things. Yeah, Will. I'm gonna hit you up in the email. No, I think one of them social media platforms, email me, Will. We're gonna need the email because the social media, especially if it's like Instagram or something, I be missing them things, man. Especially if it's Facebook, I be missing that. So we do need to chat. We do need to chat. Yeah. Black power, black love, black love, black love, black love, black. I mean, hey, if you consider your Osiris, if you consider yourself pro-black and being married to Arab, that's cool. If you consider it, I'm not gonna argue with you. Definitely not gonna argue with you, brother. I just say, just make sure you are contributing to the forwarding and the advancement and empowerment and the upliftment of black people. I'm not gonna argue with you, bro. I'm not gonna argue. Like I said, I got my definition, you got yours. There it is. But y'all love y'all black selves. I'll catch y'all tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we're dealing with some more of this FBA stuff. Because some people keep trying to tell us our history and being disrespectful. Love y'all.